Hey, what's up, guys? Tater Trader back again with another weekly review. Just going over my trades for this week. Um, I'll just start with the IRA first. Deposited in $1,000 this week should have been maybe even a $200 week, but no, we're down 73 bucks because we just keep falling for the pump fake. Somebody act like they're gonna shoot and then they just pump fake you. You jump and it's a foul. Yeah, so everything was good. Amazon brings out news saying they're in the pharmacy medication thing. So Amazon popped up in the pre-market. I sold a 34.05 on my short leg by 34.15, right? On my long leg on the call side. So Amazon popped at 3200. So I'm like, knowing Amazon, this was on Tuesday, it's gonna run. So I bought it back on Tuesday. I bought back the calls on Tuesday. Um, Let me fix this thing, cause yeah, I bought back the calls on Tuesday. Tuesday's the 17th yet, so I bought them back on Tuesday, and I didn't really made any money, right? I made like maybe 16 bucks, and then we came back down, and I felt like we're gonna sell off, so I bought back the puts. Didn't make any money. And it was just a whole bunch of pump fake, pump fake, pump fake, buy back until I buy back something at a loss. So just a lack of confidence in this account because I can't really take big losses in this account. So I'm not really giving the trades room to work. So just got to change my mindset on this account. But that's really happened. For next week, we got put spread on Amazon, put spread on Netflix, and we'll see how that goes. Right? That's really it. All right. So to the main account. This week on the main account. I made $3,166. Um, this was you can see my week. This is 7 day tracking. The week started when? On the 16th. So you can see this trade is in there the night of the 15th. I closed this out Sunday night for a loss. And it actually would have worked out. Everything in here, those three trades that you see right there that I closed for a loss, they all actually would have worked out. It's just yeah, I did that. So I close out this trade. Yeah, so these are all the trades. So I'll just group them by name so I can just talk about them by name. All right, so Apple. So I started the week with Apple 116 put for this week and also Apple 113 put for next week coming, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy back the Apple. So I bought back the Apples on Monday, made 70 bucks out of the hundred and something that I should make, and then I wanted to redirect the money, so that's really what that was lingering with. And 2 days later, I bought back the put side because Apple was selling off, and I was just like, I'll just go put my money in something that's actually playing fair. Um, these are the Amazon spreads that I traded this week, and it's funny that I made money on my spreads in this account and I lose money in my IRA. And this account, I'm more riskier with the spreads. It makes no sense how I fuck this shit up. But that's why I'm showing you guys like how I fuck shit up so y'all just don't do what I do. You know what I mean? You do better than me. So yeah, so I messed up this one spread and basically gave back the money, half of the money that I made on the spreads. So that's what I do in Amazon this week. Alibaba, I saw this on Thursday. Wednesday, Alibaba traded good. And on Thursday, I was like, okay, all right, Alibaba, I'm going to give you a run. So I saw the 250 put expiring next week on the 27th. And Alibaba just sat there, man. Did nothing. Like the market is doing all this stuff. It did nothing. It just sat there. You know, like I would check on it every 2 hours and it's just sitting there doing a bunch of nothing. And then the market starts selling off, and I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take my $10. And the next day, Alibaba rallied like a monster. So it's one of them where I didn't give it enough room to work, and that's my fault. Beyond Meat treated me like fuck a king this week. I can't lie. Um, all the puts for this week, I buy them back at big profits. Sold the puts for next week. Even buy it back. You see, these 122s are for next week, and I already bought them back. Made 100, and I have more puts out right now, 125s and 122s for next week. So Beyond Meat is looking pretty good. We had this Chewy put, and I bought it back at half the price because the market was looking stable. And we talked about our oil trade. Uh, DraftKings. So I had that 47 call, and DraftKings dropped on Monday. So I bought the call back because I have a covered call, right? So I bought the call back, and I was just chilling, trying to see what DraftKings is gonna do, and then DraftKings started coming up. So I sold the 50 call for December 18 for $300 on my shares. If it gets taken away, it's a $700 trade. If not, I got $300 more. And I also sold the 46 put Friday at the bell. So we'll see what DraftKings wants to do this week. Docu was a trade that I took based on the New York lockdowns and all the COVID stocks were going up on yeah on I think Monday or so. We saw this Monday or Tuesday. We got this news. So I said I was gonna go Docu, um, Teladoc, and Peloton. I was gonna focus a little bit into those and Etsy. So that's a Docu year. I only wanted it for half the profits. I didn't want to overstay my welcome. That's what that's about. Etsy, last week Etsy beat us up. This week Etsy paid us. So 117 puts. Everything that I sold on Etsy just paid off big time. Etsy ran away from me on Friday, so I couldn't even sell a put. Like it just rocketed from like 133 to 143. Like it ran up $10 real fast. So I couldn't even sell a new put in there. So it is what it is. Fastly is another one that treated us good. I have nothing really to say. We had 70 puts, and you see those cashed in. We had 75 puts for next week, and I already cashed it in because I sold it for $110, and I was up $80 Friday at 3 o'clock, and I knew the market sell-off game on Friday, right? Because we talked about this already. They love to sell the market off into the weekend. So I was like, I'll just take this, and if it sells off real hard, I'll just go back in. I have puts again. I have new puts I sold on Fastly. They are 2 weeks out. I thought I did. Sold some 78. Yeah, here's the 78s that I sold for December 4th. Two contracts at $200 each. So I have some longer selling in there. I put the Netflix put spread in here so I can see it in this account too. So I have the same trade in both accounts. Dip my finger into Neo. Because I saw some support when they sold off on earnings in the low 40s, and then I saw the same thing again. So I decided to sell a put. I wasn't gonna keep it the rest of the day, so I got 42 dollars for money to buy stuff over the weekend. I guess buy alcohol, something. But it's 40. These $40 and $50 trades, they do add up. They do add up. Trust me. When I looked at it, I was like, man, these really add up. And again, I sold, that was a 41 put right there, right? So I did it with a 41 put. And then I turned around and did it with the 42 put again. And you can see this is another $80, right? So this was basically another $40 trade again. But I had two contracts out. So that's how I got 80 bucks. And now I'm up to 45, and I sold two of the 45s for next week. And I'm actually up 40 bucks total, but I wanted 80 to close it. We had pen puts, and basically those pen puts paid us pretty good. Sold it for 100, bought it back for 15, so that was pretty good. I sold the 65 puts for 2 weeks out because I wanted the 65 range. So that's what happened there with that. Peloton. Peloton is one of the ones that treated us good. I couldn't do anything wrong on this stock this week. Like whatever the only thing I I didn't do was put size on my puts, but I was kind of cautious, so I just kept it to the rule of no more than three puts in a stock right now. No more than three puts in a stock. Just leave it there. So I didn't put any more in there. I have two puts in there. So I had the 90s, bought them back. I sold the 94s for this week, bought them back. Sold the 94s for next week, bought them back. So right now I have 99 puts and 104 puts on Peloton. That's what I have, and I actually have two puts, not four. Remember we had to roll our snow. We bought our snow back, so we made a good change on snow. So that was good. That relieved a lot of the stuff. Teladoc was one of the vaccine plays I put on Thursday. Not vaccine, but one of the lockdown plays because they're basically telehealth, so you can call the doctor online, all that stuff. Should have sold two of these, didn't. But it is what it is. But this was for next week, 177 put. We sold it for 235, and we bought it back for $35. So that was pretty good. Um, that was a pretty good lick right there. Right, we Tesla now. Oh, Tesla, man. I'm telling you, Tesla and me is fighting, man. We fighting all week. So last week I had those 370 puts that I sold on Tesla for 230, no, 250. And then the news came out, Tesla joining the S&P, so Tesla ran all the way up to like 470. I bought it back at the bell. Maybe I knew I should have waited to let the IV die out of it because at the end of the day this was going for $10, but I wanted the margin to move around because that was locking up 5K margin, I think it was. So I just bought it back at the bell and I said, okay, based on this news, I'm gonna have to go up higher because I want to do the monthlies because I said the goal was to transfer $1,000 a month into the IRA or 250 a week into the IRA, right? So and I plan to do that with monthlies on stocks that can pay me pretty good. So I sold the 392 put December 18, a week before Tesla goes into the S&P. So even if it falls on me now, I know we're probably gonna get a run up before it goes in. So the next day we popped up to almost 500. So I could have closed this for half the profits, but my goal is 900 early. So I'm just sticking with it. If I get burned, I get burned, but it is what it is. On the flip side of the coin, I felt dirty and I sold a 650 call for next week. And I had time to look at it, right? And I had alert set. If Tesla, so basically what I was looking at in this trade is risking some of my downside profits for the upside. So if it shoots up on me really hard, then I guess I'm gonna have to buy back the put and use some of that profits to pay for the call, and I'm out of the trade. But I felt Tesla could not go up another $150 by next week. So that's what I was banking off, and I felt like if we dropped the IV, would get sucked out of those call contracts, and I was right. But me, I'm just scared as hell, just being a little bitch, and I bought it back for $50. So again, you put that 50 with that 40, whatever, whatever, and you get a car payment, right? So I'm not going against it. On Friday, I felt like doing the same thing again, and I sold the 530 put on Friday when Tesla was at 490, like 495 at the open, and I was like, you have to break all-time highs to go up there, but still can't hold my conviction, so I bought it back for $30. Then I tried to do the thing with 515, and Tesla looked like it was gonna rally, so I was just like, I'll give you $8 out of the $27 that I took from you earlier, and I just exited. So that was all my Teslas. Last one is Zoom. Zoom started rallying on the same lockdown thing, right? And it plugged into my mind, do I want to sell the this week knowing that if I'm wrong, Theta will destroy this contract? But if I'm right and I sell the next week, because I sold this contract for 145, but the next week contract was going for like $700. So I could have sold this $700 contract, and at the time, Zoom was at 415 when I sold this contract, and Zoom ran up to like 425. So I would have literally been up maybe $300 to $400. But I err on the side of caution, saying maybe I could be wrong. So I sold the this week's contract because I wanted Theta to back me up if I'm completely wrong. And that was how I basically got that Zoom right there. So it worked out, and I could have kept it the rest of the day because this contract went all the way to $40, but I just didn't overstay my welcome. I saw $60 on it, and I was just like, okay, we out. So that is that. The last thing on this is I started watching my exchange and rebates, and this ISC exchange, they do 20 cents, man. Even when I'm opening contracts, 23 cents. So what I'm gonna do is I even saw that my thing was on something else. So in here, if you have interactive brokers and you go in here, I had mine on Max Smart Rebate, but you can also put this as one of your favorites. So it will choose in between one of these two. So what I'm gonna do is when I decide to sell on next week anything, I'm just gonna click it on this so it stays on ISE, and I want to see if they're gonna give me the 22. And you can go into your trade settings in orders, smart routing, and I had multi-purpose smart route on, so it actually was sending me, and I had max fill on, so it wasn't really sending me to the max rebate. So that's why you would see a couple times in here like I was paying $1.40 and stuff like that for one contract. So I want to see what it does. So I'll play with that next week. All in all, so for next week, I'll just run this over because I know this video probably going long. For next week, we have Apple. This is actually 2 weeks out. Apple 113 put, sold it again. Beyond 127, 125 puts. I have 3 puts total and beyond. DraftKings, I told you I had that cover call and the Cascare put. Fazly, I have the 1 put on Fazly, the 78 put. Neo, I have the 2 Neos. Pen, I have the 2 Pens. Peloton, I have 2 Peloton. And I have my 1 Tesla. So that is what that is. What made this week different for me was just your watch list. Like this is gray right now, but whenever the market's open, they're red and green, and I just look at stocks that are either they're super is either they're super gray, is either they're super red or super green, and I look at their news to see what is going on with their news and analyze the news, and if I think it's gonna continue running or continue falling, it goes on and off the list, and then I decide to sell a put on it. So that's how I saw Teledoc and Zoom stuff. That's how I saw stuff on them, and I said, okay, I will give them a shot. So all in all, that's it for this week. Let me know how you guys did and what's y'all place for next week. Thanks for watching my video.